This is the outline of the old church that you're familiar with. Right now we're standing right here in the vestibule, and we're going to go down the hallway looking in my old office, the new office managers, and all the colored area is new construction. The old building was about 16,000 square feet, and we added an additional 17,000 square feet. So we added a new office for me, for an associate, counseling, and for Wally's office, a conference room, then a separate janitor's and storage room, a physically handicapped toilet, and another entrance off to the east, a special education room, and you'll see the nursery, or the children's room for preschool, toddler, and nursery. Big CE spaces that we added. Adult education, this is really one room now. It's a music practice room. Music minister's office and choir directors, choir room, some interesting women's dressing room and restroom over here, large storage, and then we'll go to the gymnasium multi-purpose room later, and you'll see the details there. So why don't we take a walk around this way. The entrance to the new building stays the same. Sally's office is still the same here, like it was that you used to see. We did make a change. We added new carpeting at the door of my old office and the hallway. And this room isn't complete yet, but this will be the paper storage and machine room where we're going to have the copiers, the paper folders. All of our paper goods will be in this office. This, you recall, is part of the senior pastor's old office. We put a false wall in here, and this will then become the computer room, where we'll have our computers and printers, so we can have a quiet space for the computer operators to work, which is including more and more time each month. What used to be the conference room will become the office manager's room. We still have some more work to do cleaning this room up. One of the concerns that we had in the new building was to add more restrooms. So we have put in 11 more restrooms in the new facility. Nice wide restrooms. This used to be the music director's office, and now there's a women's restroom, and right across from it is a men's restroom. This hallway now leads to the new addition. Here's where the wall used to be. And you can look right down this hallway if you want, and you'll see where that ledge is where the grass berm used to be. This is what used to be Wally's office. It's now going to be a small conference room, currently filled with lots of junk. This is my office. It's about a third larger than the old office I had, with a wonderful sliding window, sliding door for me to go outside or for people to leave, lots of light. This is the old exterior wall that we decided to keep open and not put bookshelves on because it would really accent nicely Martha's artwork. Let's go now down along the new hallway with the other rooms. This will be a room for a future associate. It's the size of my old office, and right next to that room is a conference room similar to the conference rooms we've had before. One of the concerns in building the building was to have what we call dedicated adult space, rooms that can be used for boards and adult classes, Bible studies, support groups. So you'll see all sorts of little rooms that will have multi-purpose adult space. This is Wally's office. This is the same size as my old office, and he's now on the end of the building, so the kids that he's working with can come and go as they please. A nice addition is this conference room. This is a larger conference room for adult use that we normally use the library for before. We'll use it for executive board meetings, covenant women meetings, larger classes, support groups. I'll teach confirmation in here. We have a sink and little kitchenette over on that side. We hope someday to use this corner for a historical room or historical cabinet to put our photos and the memorabilia of the church. And this sliding door and the sliding door in my office were taken from the old fellowship hall. That's why we have these two sliding doors here. I think what we'll do is go out the back of the church now. This rear entrance we have. This is facing Henry Street. We're facing east. And you can see out here the extra parking spots. We put in about 40 new parking spots in what was just woodland. This nice big entryway. This is a custodian's room that goes directly into the furnace room. We go in here. That way, repairs, snow blowing equipment, all the repair stuff, junky stuff, can be in there away from the flammable boilers and stuff like that. You know the problem that we have with boiler rooms becoming clutter and fire dangers. We really should walk along here and see the work that the men have done. They planted all this grass in August, early September. This was just real junky, torn up land. And now they've planted this whole back area, this beautiful grassy berm. And this will give you an idea of the length of the new building. These lower area doors where the lawn goes right up to the wall, those are the special education room, preschool and toddler rooms. They can go right out into the grass and play. This goes all the way down to the choir room. But isn't that a beautiful job the men did, planting the grass, preventing erosion? This dirt berm in front of us here will soon be planted with shrubberies according to a master landscaping plan. These new doorways are unique in that they're real wide doorways with a lighted window, so there are no dark hallways. When we come in this entrance, you can go right over and we've got a handicapped restroom because we feel that we're probably going to enter into more ministry with wheelchair-bound and handicapped adults. This room for special ministries would be for retarded adults or wheelchair-bound. Right now it's being used for kindergarten. The old wall came right to this point here. So you can get a visual sense of how much farther we've pushed out. This used to be the farthest most corner of the old choir room. Now we've added this direction and out this way. Kindergarten is using it now. From kindergarten, we have the preschool room here. But we'll digress for a moment. Here's another little work office. We'll use this work office for covenant women and volunteers. Maybe a retired calling pastor someday could have this as his office. Then this is an adult Sunday school room with a divider we can use. It came from the old building. We can split this into two smaller work rooms, and right now it's just an adult Sunday school class on Sunday morning, currently filled with a class on prayer. The preschool room is unique in that we have tile on the part where I'm walking here. This tile is so they can have their projects and snacks on a place that's easily cleaned up. This is the old wall. We had to have it kind of thin out so it gives support to the roof. And this then becomes the other larger, wider play area. It's carpeted, very soft, and also very warm. We have these low windows and breaker bar doors so kids can go out in the case of fire or in good weather just to go outside and play. For reasons of protection for child abuse, we have these large windows. We want parents to know that it's a safe place. So these windows are put in so parents can look in and see what's going on. We have a walk-through restroom for the little kids. Again, with access two ways so a kid does not feel trapped. We want to have safety above all. We move from the preschool room into the toddler room. It's a little bit smaller. The same concept of organization holds true in the toddler room as it did in the preschool room. The tiled playroom and then the carpeted crawling room. I have no idea how many kids are in here, but the place is almost loaded right now. We put in cupboards for storage and then a pass-through door back into the other room without having to go through the restroom. Hi, Carol.
Hi.
This used to be the restroom in the office. This will someday become a kitchenette if we have a preschool or something like that here, but this would be, it's plumbed and piped for that. And this goes into the old office, so we'll stay there. We're gonna back up, but this is the old office area, and you can see where we just moved in. We can lock these doors if we have a preschool and kind of isolate off another group using the church. Here's the room that caused all this growth to happen. Recall the reason we began to grow was because of all the little children in the nursery that spilled out into other classes. This is the new nursery with a counter here over which the children can be passed so parents aren't in here and other unauthorized people. We have a room in here as a child's crying room or a mother's room. We hope to eventually have a TV monitor up in the corner so mothers or fathers who are rocking children can watch the service by closed-circuit television, feel like they're part of it while they're taking care of their child. And a changing area and sinks are also added. You recall we're just walking up that exterior that you saw before that was planted with grass seed. We widened the hallways here because this is a place that normally gets very congested with people dropping off their children. Now it's widened so parents can gather here. The new building wraps around this way. One of the concerns that have been expressed to the building committee has been for older adults who sometimes feel ill or get sick. So we put in a first aid room in which we'll have all of our first aid supplies. I'm going to answer that phone, Carrie.
Okay.
We'll have our own restroom. Again, the women have expressed concern for a restroom. We'll put a small couch in here, blood pressure cuff on the wall, a phone if we need to contact an ambulance, because we see that as being a concern, and our senior adults have really appreciated having a room kind of set aside for their special needs. Next to the first aid room is a room for audiovisual storage. We have much more storage in the new facility than the old. Before, televisions and cameras and screens were stationed here and there and everywhere. This has yet to be fully organized, but it's a good storage room. One of our growing areas is with adult classes. This is one of our adult classrooms that you can see by the chairs is filled already on a Sunday morning. We have two sets of lights in here so we can eventually split the room. We've got a double wide header up in the ceiling. So we could put in screen doors or a separate wall if we want to. Right now, adults meet here for a study on the book of Joshua. Now we're going to be entering into the music area. This is the old alleyway that you could use to get into the church, the sanctuary. This is an exterior wall. You can see how the wall goes right on down this way. One of the additions that we put in here was a practice room. This is a super insulated room with gaskets around the doors for musicians to use. We'll probably put a spinet piano in here so vocalists can warm up before worship and not disturb any other classes. And for music lessons as we get more and more into teaching music. This is the music director's office where Donna Rankenberger is. All these files, all these cabinets were donated to us. So she works here, organizing music, keeping the files. This wraps right around and goes into the choir director's office. The choir director's office feeds directly into the new choir room. You can keep playing. We're doing a video tour for my folks who haven't seen the building. So they can see, this is Caroline Anderson, she's playing over here, getting ready for the children's program that will start tonight. The choir room is the exact duplicate of the choir loft in the sanctuary. You'll see that on this side, there's men's choir robes and music storage. Who's taking all these pictures for us. This will also double as the bride's room for weddings. She can close herself off and have a place to get ready. Behind Carrie, you can see the lockable purse closet, so we can put stuff in there and lock things up before they go into worship. Here too again are more restrooms, women's restrooms, that the women can use before choir or others who want to. Wrapping around now the back of the sanctuary. Here is another large adult Sunday school room that is currently being used for a series on the family. So here's one of these adult dedicated spots, carpeted floor. Nicely appointed. We eventually hope to get nicer chairs in here, but we wanted space and we couldn't afford all the equipment. A critical concern in our church is storage because we have so much stuff. Let's see if I can get this open. Here is our storage room. It's an extra wide door, wood panels on the side so nothing gets banged through walls, and very high ceilings. This room also has an entrance to the outside, so equipment from outside can be brought in without having to track to the church. And all that this wide door here can lead directly into the sanctuary. Here's where we'll put candelabrum and kneelers and other stuff that we'll use in the sanctuary that's always kind of wide and bulky. This is a great idea. We'll probably eventually put in some storage facilities that are tall. Now we're back, and this old brown carpet is the old church. This is the older area. And stepping out this door here, you can see the only wall that was left untouched. This is the only exterior wall that was not added to. We hope to plant this with nice grass seed around here and turn this into almost a park. If we ever do any building, we'd probably build out from this spot here. where you see the tree line beginning, that's pretty much the limit of our property at this point. We hope to purchase some acreage back into the woods, but we don't have the buyer, the seller isn't ready yet to do that. Now we'll walk through the old Fellowship Hall. The sanctuary has remained unchanged. The old Fellowship Hall is unchanged but changed in that we put up fire doors. These fire doors can be raised, and I didn't think of getting the raising unit. Oh, here we go. You can see how these work. Very easily. This door can be raised, so we can seat a banquet of about 150 to 200 in here, and another 400 out here. I'm going to go into the new multi-purpose room, and you can see how big this is. This is the multi-purpose room. It's carpeted. I don't have a basketball. This is called Pro Gym Floor. Pro Gym Floor has the same bounce back capability as a hardwood floor in a high school. In fact, 10 high schools in Michigan use this for basketball. We have glass backstops with professional sized type rims. In the floor here we have built brass holes so we can insert standards for volleyball. The white inlay in the carpet is for the volleyball games, and the black is for basketball. This is 1 foot short of a high school gymnasium. So we hope to have basketball leagues going. We've got some going already. This room here is the youth room that currently the senior high are using for their events. And this can be painted, they can have it completely to themselves, so they can have their own space. As you can hear from the echo, it has a high noise level. We'll go up here and you can see the Sunday school rooms we put up on top. This is all a metal, corrugated metal exterior with I-beam construction all around, heavily insulated. And these are our Sunday school classes. Right now these are, I think, first and second and third and fourth. First and second, third and fourth, fifth and sixth, I think. These windows are open at this time. That's for economy. We couldn't afford to put anything in. We think we're going to like it because this will serve as bleachers for games. It's efficient because the airflow goes right in and out. Our one concern is safety, that kids don't climb through these windows. But here you can probably even get a better view of the whole gymnasium. We're careful to call it multi-purpose room because we don't want it just seen as a gym. We can walk through these other rooms and come down the other side. We have, as kind of an architectural signature, this rounded Palladian window on this end, and if you look all the way down to the other end, you'll see the Palladian window in the junior high room down there. These rooms again are all carpeted. And they've increased our Sunday school capabilities enormously. I didn't get these lights. This door exits out to the back parking lot. With all this space, you still have a 50-foot distance between the building and the parking lot. The men that you know from the XYZ Bible study have put in all this rock spill area so the water coming off the roof does not erode the berm. And they've got stakes and string in the ground now. They're going to be planting grass, rye grass like you saw before, and some sort of a designed shrubbery along the side. In the ceiling, we have a couple of very large fans that will help move the air down in the winter so that it's much more efficient. It's insulated by huge rolls, probably 8-foot wide strips of insulation that go, one continuous roll goes up and over the top and down. We could have had that covered, but that would have been probably another $30,000, and then we had to save some money along the way. The basketball standards can be manually raised with a drill with a universal joint on that one post to the right of that gray box, and that will raise them up, or we can hand crank them if we need to. These classes above on this side are the same dimensions. The dark class to your left is the sports director's office. We'll keep all of our equipment in there. All of our basketballs, volleyballs, sports stuff, everything that we need for sports. It can also double as a classroom if we need to. The real expense happened when we decided to go for the restrooms. We put restrooms in that are not just restrooms, but locker rooms and showers. Dick Borgeson, being an architect, decided to use fine colors. You have to pardon this exhaust fan because it is kind of loud. We put in urinals, stools, and then a locked shower room with 6 showers. These are preset at a certain temperature. When you give it get it up here. When you give it a hit, it will go for about 3 minutes at 120 degrees. I can get it. Means you can't scald anybody or freeze them. The lockers in with the universal keys that you can let kids use for sports events. You better get out of here, it's kind of noisy. The women's restroom is similar, except no urinals, of course. And they have a locker room also, different colors. But here we have 3 shower stalls, and we're going to be putting in dividers eventually so they can have their own private showering arrangements. One of the things that we forgot when we put in these showers is, if you look up here, the windows are clear. We need to get those frosted so the women and men taking showers can have privacy. The shower in the men's room just went off as we leave. We have a wonderful back entrance that could have been functional, and Dick Borgeson decided to make beautiful with a Palladian window and these nice globe lights. This becomes a warm and inviting area for youth. On Wednesday evenings, Wally has open gym, and Carrie, who's taking the pictures, is part of that open gym time. That means they can have the gymnasium to themselves. They'll roll down the big fire doors, and they can lock up the rest of the church and not worry about people going in the rest of the church, but just play in this gymnasium area. By the way, with that door open, in the event of a fire, at a certain temperature, a breaker switch releases and the door automatically, by gravity, will drop down. We expanded the kitchen. What used to be table storage, this, of course, is the old exterior wall. We expanded the kitchen so that, I got the door here, Carrie. It could serve both the fellowship hall, as before. This is where the old kitchen line went. It could serve both the fellowship hall and the multi-purpose room. They put in more tile floor, more cabinets, and turned the stove around on its side. And this too is one of these sliding steel doors. The last thing that we've added for you to see is the other entryway. Here too again are these bright globe lights. Lots more area to put coats, information for people to gather in, and go directly from, if you can see down the exit line on one side of the church, all the way to the other side. We've got open, lit passageways. We paved. There used to be a grassy berm here, and now we have a large outside foyer that in warm weather becomes a great place for coffee hours and for reception time. That's the tour of the church. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you, Carrie, for taking all these pictures.